All right. We are back with the Real with Rachel D, guys. And that was Chrisette Michelle, A Couple of Forever. And she was singing her soul out on that song, guys.
Didn't that get you a little bit in your feelings?
She was blowing it. Guys, we are back with me, your co-host, Miss BJ, The Real with Rachel D, and Miss Shana from About Let's Talk America.
Yeah, that's right.
So good. I'm so excited, guys. We have such great conversation during our breaks.
We do. And so we want to go to you so that you could tell us more about your show and what your focus is. And Let's Talk America with Miss Shana Thornton.
Thank you, Rachel and BJ. I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully you all are gathering that. Like you said, I'm Shana Thornton, and I'm the executive producer and on-air host, lead on-air talent for the national award-winning family radio talk show, Let's Talk America, with host Shana Thornton. And we're a weekly program. We've won some awards that we're very proud of. And we're news talk for every single member of your household.
Wow.
Literally. So we cover everything. A little bit of pop culture, like you all do, not as much, but we do a lot of politics, a lot of political segments, a great deal of health segments where we have cardiologists come on, oncologists, endocrinologists, every sort of doctor you can think of has come on to talk about lupus, from breast cancer, ovarian cancer, you name it, we've covered the health topic. So nutrition, lower back pain, things that the everyday person goes through. We've also covered issues that affect lots of families, even though they're silent issues. This past week, we covered childhood sexual abuse, which is a very silent subject, but goes on in the U.S. And we covered the show. We had some expert social workers on who shared that a great deal of the cases of the sexual assault incidents among children go unreported. So, I mean, which is devastating. But, we talked about prevention, but we also talked about healing, because there are individuals who have suffered, but who've had the opportunity to be healed from it, which is always great. We talk about the issues that are facing families, but we also talk about solutions to it. So I love journalism. I'm a journalist. I call myself a digital journalist, right? So, which, as you all know, has really opened the ways for a lot of different angles in the world of journalism, and you all do a great job here. So we just news talk for everybody. And I also have the awesome opportunity of being the global news anchor for SCB TV Channel 182 News. So that's really neat. I cover a lot of the global topics. We talked about, of course, Iraq. As you all may know, the bombing in the soccer stadium. Yes. And Lahore, and that was Pakistan. So that was Pakistan. Right. And Iraq, they had the soccer bombing in Pakistan. It was a park where they were Christians celebrating Easter. Yeah, so there was suicide bomber there. And then we obviously just talked about Brussels, as you know, in Belgium, the unfortunate individuals, roughly now a little under 30 casualties. So yeah, terrorism is unfortunately becoming more and more prevalent, it seems. And ISIS declared responsibility for 2 of those attacks. An outbreak fraction of the Taliban actually took credit, from my understanding, for the one in Pakistan. Oh, wow. So, which is, obviously that's been a huge topic in the political scene here with the presidential political primaries going on. So, ISIS is a topic. The group obviously is on a lot of the minds of the candidates, from, Secretary Hillary Clinton, Senator Bernie Sanders, to businessman Donald Trump and Senator Ted Cruz. They've each talked about it and their perspectives, and they each have their own way of how they would handle it. So
I'm glad you introduced Donald Trump as a businessman, because that's what he is. He's not a politic. He's not. That's just my personal opinion. I just heard you said Senator this, Secretary of State this, businessman, because that's where he is, and that's where I feel like he needs to stay. But let me ask you, since you mentioned ISIS, how do you feel about the 2 Americans that were trying to get recruited for ISIS? Yeah. And one of which was an African-American female.
Yeah, very young, too. These were young people.
Yeah, we've seen it pop up all throughout the U.S., unfortunately. But I think you're talking about the Mississippi couple, right? They were newlyweds, if you will. Her father was a law enforcement agent also. It's baffling to me, and I say that as an American, but also as a human being that lives in this world. Because to me, it's very blatant what ISIS stands for, right? We know, suicide bombing, killing innocent individuals. So that's very disturbing on every level. For anyone to sit and sort of romanticize what they think ISIS is or what they're going to do, I can tell you as a human being, as a journalist, it's disturbing, it's sickening. I'm just baffled by this young woman, this young man who seemed prior to this to have promising careers thought that they were just going to go and elope and she and he were going to be accepted. And I don't know. As a young female, for her sake, I don't know what role she thought she was going to play in a very male-dominated group such as ISIS. What we know about them, that it's very male-dominated. I'm not sure. I think she had plans, from what I think the investigation said, of doing plans for them, some sort of engineering plans.
What?
I don't know.
How is that
it's
cute?
disturbing.
I mean, they just got married, Shana.
Yes.
I mean, they're supposed to be going, to Crate and Barrel, picking out stuff, not dreaming about strapping bombs to themselves and blowing themselves up. So it's very disturbing. Like,
It's heartbreaking
mentally,
to think that. I think their families were very shocked by it. And then we've seen other individuals who, and I think a lot of this is through social media.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, I know the war on terrorism has escalated. It's going different avenues. I mean, we're seeing social media play more a role in it. I think Twitter just had a policy they released that they will shut it down when there is hate type information put out there. As you know, you may know that it's being reported that ISIS was celebrating on Twitter after the Belgium attack.
That's wow. See,
which
that's
is unfortunate,
crazy.
where there was a bomb in the metro station and also in the airport. So, I mean, just disturbing news. But as I will tell you this, and I'm talking to two women that do communications on a great high level. I think journalism, I think what you all are doing, you're informing people. I think that's critical for people to know it. What I consider myself is it's universal news talk. Let's Talk America Radio. So what we do is we provide the information, we bring in the leading expert guests, and we give you enough information where you equip yourself to make the decisions yourself. Because I am one of those journalists that believe you inform the people as objective as possible. That's what I try to do. And so you can say, well, which procedure for cancer is the best? Which type of education is best for my child?
Yes.
So, yeah, I believe that works. And obviously you have talk radio or news talk that is a little more to the left, a little more to the right. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. But I do think you need some universal news talk too, where people can say, just give me the facts, give me some investigative points, bring in the expert guests, and let me make that decision. So I think there's room for everyone. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Can you tell everybody where they can find out more information about you and Let's Talk America?
Thank you. Well, you can visit www.letstalkamerica.com. Again, that easy to remember, easy to navigate website is Let's Talk America with Shana Thornton. If you can't remember that, just put in Let's Talk America Radio in any of your favorite search engines. And we will pop up, and we're on Twitter. We'd love to have you follow us on Twitter. My handle there is SS Thornton. So SS Thornton, and I retweet a lot of the news feeds that come through. So if you follow us, we do follow back, and you can stay abreast of everything going on globally in the world.
And where can they hear it? Like what time? And
we actually air and stream live every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're a national show. It's a national radio talk show. Our podcasts are all over iTunes. So you just visit the website, and it can tell you where to go. But if you're on iTunes or SoundCloud, any of that, check us out. Put our name in the search engine. Let's Talk America with host Shana Thornton, and you can pull it up. So our episodes are pretty neat and pretty innovative, and you don't get to hear me talk all the time. You have expert guests come in, so join us.
That's cool.
Awesome, guys. Remember, Let's Talk America with host Shana Thornton. And guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. And we would like for you to stay on for the rest of the show.
It would be an honor. You all are awesome.
The craziest stories. Like, social media has not failed me this week. Okay, so we have some crazy things to talk about. So guys, make sure you keep it here. But coming up, we have Soul for Real, Candy Rain.